Hi guys and welcome to IGCSE on Fingertips. I am Divyang and today we are going to solve chemistry 2-2 paper and the variant is 2-1. We are going to attempt the May-June 2021. Okay, so we have the first question. It says, which two gases will diffuse at the same rate at the same temperature? So gases that have same mass are going to diffuse at the same rate given the temperature is same. Carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide will not have the same mass, right? Chlorine and fluorine do not have the same mass. I'm going to check about carbon monoxide and nitrogen. Nitrogen and oxygen, no, they do not. Let's see here by the method of elimination, answer is already B, but let's check it once. Okay, so carbon monoxide, carbon has a mass of 12, oxygen has a mass of 16. Nitrogen has a mass of 14, but it is a N2, so 14 plus 14. This is 28, this is also 28. So yes, B is the correct answer. Let's look at the second question. It says a student measures the time taken, okay, for 2 gram of magnesium to dissolve in 50 centimeter cube of dilute sulfuric acid. What apparatus is essential to complete the experiment? What do you need? So you need a stop clock? Yes, because you are measuring time. Then do you need measuring cylinder? Yes, you are measuring volume. Do you need thermometer? No, because you are not measuring temperature. But do you need balance? Yes, you are measuring 2 gram of a reactant. Let's see what our options are. So 1, 2 and 4. Let's find out one such option, 1, 2 and 4. That is option A. So A is your correct answer. Let's look at question number 3. Yes. So we have the numbers of protons and neutrons and the electronic structure of 4 particles W, X, Y and Z are shown. The number of protons, neutrons and electronic structure is given. So the question says which particles have the same chemical properties. The particles that have same electronic structure will have the same chemical properties. So that goes for this, right? So X and Y have the same chemical properties. Also their number of protons are same. So they are the same element and therefore they have the same chemical properties. So C is your answer. Let's go for the next question. Which substance should be pure for the intended use? A drug for curing cancer. Yes, that must be pure. It's a drug. If there are any impurities, it may cause a reaction or a side effect. So a drug for curing cancer is the correct answer. Limestone may contain sand as an impurity. Petroleum itself is a mixture, so it's not pure. Water for washing car, you can take tap water, which is not pure water, and still you can wash a car. So option A is your correct answer. Question number 5. Metallic and ionic compounds have similarities and differences in their structure and properties. Which row about metals and ionic compound is correct? So we have to find out what is the similarity and the difference, which are the correct similarity and difference. So both contain positive ion. Yes, metal contain positive ion and delocalized electrons, and ionic compounds contain positive and negative ions or anions and cations. So yes, both contain positive ion. Only ionic compounds contain anion. Yes, only ionic compound contain anion, because metals, although they have negative charges, but those are electrons, not anions. So answer A is your correct answer. Let's go for question number 6. It says which diagram represents the outer shell electron arrangement in a nitrogen molecule? Right, now let's see. So nitrogen has triple bond with the other nitrogen. Here you have single bond, right? So that's not correct. Double bond, not correct. Double bond, not correct. And if you notice, in all 3 of them, the outermost shell of electron of nitrogen is also not filled. So without even looking, D must be your correct answer, and it is, because these 3 electrons belong to this nitrogen, these 3 electrons belong to this nitrogen, and if you count the number of electrons, they are 8 for the outermost shell of each nitrogen after sharing, right? So next question, 7th question, we have the equation for the reaction between barium chloride and dilute sulfuric acid is shown. Which row shows the state symbol for this equation? So even before looking at all this, I know all chlorides are soluble except lead, right? So this is aqueous. This is an acid, so aqueous. Barium sulfate is not soluble, so solid. This is again an acid, so aqueous, right? So let's find out an option that says this is the answer, which is your option A, right? This is your option A answer. Next question, question number 8. The relative atomic mass of an element is determined by comparing the mass of one atom of the element with the mass of one atom of carbon, right? So element Q must be carbon. A is your correct answer. Then we have question number 9. The equation for reaction between aqueous lead nitrate and aqueous sodium chloride is shown. If 100 centimeter cube of aqueous lead nitrate of concentration 0.1 mole per dm cube is reacted with an excessive aqueous sodium chloride, which mass of lead chloride is obtained? First, we have to find out the molar ratio. So what do we have? 1 mole of this will produce 1 mole of this, right? The equation is balanced. Let's check. Lead 1, chlorine 2, sodium 2, NO3 twice. Yes, the reaction is balanced, right? This is a 1:1 ratio, which is the correct ratio. Now let's also find out how many moles of lead nitrate are we using. So 100 centimeter cube of concentration 0.1. So the mole is given by concentration into volume. Concentration is 0.1 and the volume will be 100 upon 1000, because we need to convert it to dm cube, because concentration is in dm cube. So the number of moles you are using is 0.01. How many moles of lead chloride will you get? 0.01. Correct. Now we have to find out what is the mass of 0.01 mole of lead chloride. For that, I will multiply 0.01 with the relative formula mass of lead chloride. So lead has a relative atomic mass of 207, Cl2. So 35.5 into 2, which is 71. Right? Let's do this in the calculator. So you have 207 plus 71 and the answer multiplied by 0.01. So you have 2.78. So option C is your correct answer. Then we have question number 10. Question number 10, just a second. Okay, we'll have to read the question. The diagram shows the electrolysis of concentrated hydrochloric acid and concentrated aqueous sodium chloride using carbon electrodes. At which electrode is hydrogen gas produced? So see, now hydrogen gas is a gas produced from positive hydrogen ion. Positive ion is attracted to negative ion. So in concentrated hydrochloric acid, do you have H plus ion? Yes, you do, which is less reactive, or it is the only H plus positive ion, I mean, which goes to the cathode, right? In concentrated aqueous sodium chloride, even if it's concentrated, because H plus is less reactive than sodium, it will go to the negative electrode and get reduced, right? Reduction is gain of electrons, it will get reduced. So on electrode 2 and electrode 4, we will see formation of hydrogen. Let's see if we have one such option where we can find these answers. So 1 no, 1 and 3 no, 2 no, 2 and 4. So option D, 2 and 4. Let's Let's go to the next question. You have question number 11. Aqueous copper sulfate is electrolyzed using copper electrodes. What is the ionic half equation for the reaction at cathode? Okay, so cathode is negative, right? It attracts cation, it is itself negative. So positive ions will come to cathode. Which are the positive ions? This is not a positive ion and this is not a positive ion. Out of these two, because copper is less reactive than hydrogen, copper comes to the cathode and therefore option B is your correct answer. This is what happens with aqueous copper sulfate. Next question. Which row identifies a chemical change and a physical change? So let's see. Boiling ethanol is not a chemical change, right? It's a physical change. Burning ethanol? Yes. Okay, so we'll go with burning. Let's look at the other option. Is evaporating ethanol a physical change? Yes, it is. So option B is your correct answer. But let's also have a look at other options. So burning ethanol is not a physical change, right? It's a chemical change. Dissolving ethanol in water is a physical change, not a chemical change. Burning ethanol, again a chemical change. Evaporating ethanol is a physical change, and dissolving ethanol in water, yes, this is a, oh, just a second. Evaporating ethanol is physical change and dissolving ethanol in water is also a physical change, right? So this is correct, but this is incorrect. So option D cannot be your answer, right? Hence option B is the only correct answer. Question number 13. Equation for the reaction between gaseous hydrogen and gaseous iodine to form gaseous hydrogen iodide is shown. The reaction is exothermic. Which statement explains why the reaction is exothermic? Energy is released when HH bond and II bond are broken. No, energy is required to break bonds. Energy is released when bonds are made, right? That is what we know. So let's read more options. The bond energy of reactants are larger than bond energy of products. That may or may not be correct, but that does not tell us if the reaction is exothermic. Only if when the energy released when bonds are made is more than the energy required to break the bonds, the reaction is exothermic. Let's keep on looking at the option. The products are at higher energy level than the reactants. This is actually an endothermic reaction. So even without reading the option, I know D will be my correct answer, but let's read it. More energy is released when HI bonds are formed than is used when HH and II bonds are broken. So that is your answer. Then we have question number 14. Acidified aqueous silver nitrate is added to a test tube containing aqueous chloride ions. So silver is going to react with chlorine. Test tube is then left in direct sunlight. So what will happen? Silver will get reduced. Which row describes observation and explains what happens to the reaction? So silver chloride is a white precipitate, right? We can identify silver chloride as white precipitate. So let's find out the white precipitate. So A and B cannot be your answer. Okay, so white precipitate. Observation after leaving in sunlight, because silver gets reduced, you have silver colored or gray colored precipitate forming. So precipitate dissolves, no. Precipitate turns gray, yes, but B is already cancelled. Precipitate dissolves, no. Precipitate turns gray. So yes, D is your correct answer, and it also explains silver ions are reduced. So D is your correct answer. Let's look at the next question. We have question number 15. Water is added to anhydrous copper sulfate. What happens during the reaction? Now, hydration, right, or dissolution or solution formation is an exothermic reaction. So, heat is given out, right? What happens to the reaction? Let's find out. Copper sulfate turns blue. Yes, it turns blue because anhydrous is white, hydrated is blue. And the solution formed gets colder. No, actually it must get hotter because the reaction is exothermic. So B, the copper sulfate turns blue and the solution form gets hotter. Yes, this is our correct answer. Copper sulfate turns white and turns white will be incorrect. Why? Because hydrated copper sulfate is blue in color. Now let's look at question number 16. Aqueous iron chloride FeCl3 reacts with aqueous potassium iodide. This is the reaction. Which statements are correct? In the balance reaction, VW, X and Y have the same value. Okay, I don't want to balance it right now. Let's first look at other options. Potassium iodide is an oxidizing agent. So let's look at this. Potassium iodide in which iodine becomes I2. What is happening to iodine? Iodine is losing electrons. So iodine itself is oxidizing, right? So this cannot be oxidizing agent. Maybe a reducing agent, but definitely not an oxidizing agent. So 2 is not correct. When 2 is not correct, option A cannot be your answer, option C cannot be your answer, option D cannot be your answer. So by default, B is your correct answer and the value of V, W, X and Y are the same. Let me know in the comments below what is the value of V, W, X and Y. Let's look at the next question. Which statement about acid is correct? A strong acid has a higher pH than a weak acid of the same concentration. Actually, the less the pH, right? So pH is from 0 or let's say 1 to, we have pH from 1 to 7, right? And the lesser the pH, the stronger the acid, right? So this statement is incorrect. A strong acid is a proton acceptor. Any acid is a proton donor. So this is also incorrect. Weak acid is a proton donor. And this is our correct answer. All acids are proton donor. A weak acid is fully ionized in aqueous solution. No. Strong acids are fully ionized. So this is your correct answer, option C. Let's look at question number 18. So you have oxides of two elements X and Y are separately dissolved in water and the pH of each solution is tested. Oxide tested X has a pH of 1. Oxide tested Y has a pH of 13. So this is a acidic oxide and this is the other one is a basic oxide. Right? Now, which information about X and Y is correct? So oxide acidic X and basic is Y. So right away, these two options cannot be your answer. Okay. Now, acidic oxide is formed by a non-metal, right? So this has to be a non-metal and this has to be a metal. So metal Y and non-metal X. So option B is your correct answer. Let's go to question number 19. An acid is neutralized by adding an excess of insoluble solid base and it is in excess. A soluble salt is formed. How is pure salt obtained from the reaction mixture? Okay, so what happens? The first thing you have to do is filter because you want to remove insoluble solid base. Then you want to evaporate, remove excess water and crystallize to get the pure and dry crystals, right? So filtration, evaporation and crystallization, option D is your correct answer. Okay. Now we have question number 20. The electronic structure of an element is 281. Okay. Which statements about Z are correct? It is a metal. Yes, because it has one electron in outermost shell. It has two electrons, two outer shell electrons. No, I just said it has one. So 2 is incorrect, which leads to option A, B and D cancellation, right? So by the method of elimination without even looking, option C is correct. Is it in period 3? Yes, it has 3 shells. So it is in period 3 and C is your correct answer. Question 21. Elements in group 4 of periodic table are shown. What does not occur in group 4 as it is descended? Carbon, silicon, germanium, tin and lead. What does not occur? Proton number of the element increases. It does because the shells are increasing. The protons are increasing, electrons are increasing. Elements become more metallic. Yes, actually they do. Tin is the most metallic out of all of them. The elements have more electrons in their outer shell? No, it is group 4, right? So all of them are supposed to have same electrons in their outer shell. So option C is your correct answer. What does not occur? C does not occur. Question number 22. So we have metal M, element M forms both M plus and M2 plus ions. In which part of periodic table is M placed? So it forms two ions. It must be placed in what kind of metals? Transition metals, right? So group 1 no, 2 no, 3 no, and actually transition elements, right? Then we have question 23. In the extraction of aluminium by electrolysis, cryolite is added to bauxite ore. Which row describes the role of cryolite and gives the ionic half equation at cathode? So cryolite is used to lower the temperature of the bauxite, right? Lower the boiling point of the bauxite. So the role of cryolite lowers the melting point. I'm sorry, not boiling point, melting point. So no, cryolite is not a catalyst. Let's find out ionic half equation. So this is not a correct half equation. This is, but this option is already cancelled out. So not this, and 3 plus 3 electron. Yes, this is the correct answer. So option C is your correct answer. Here, what is the mistake? 3Al, right? That should not be the case. And therefore option C is your correct answer. Question number 24 we have, mild steel is galvanized to prevent corrosion of iron. Which statement about galvanization are correct? Galvanization prevents corrosion because zinc forms an alloy. No, zinc does not form an alloy, right? It stays zinc, but when oxygen or water try to corrode the iron, zinc reacts first because it is more reactive. So 1 is incorrect. That leads to option A and B. And yeah, A and B getting cancelled. If the coating is damaged, water and oxygen do not corrode the iron. Yes, they do not, because zinc is more reactive. Zinc is a sacrificial metal and corrodes in preference to iron. Yes, so option D is your correct answer. Now we have question number 25. Okay. Which diagram represents the arrangement of outer shell electrons of a noble gas? So 2 electrons, 4 electrons, 5 electrons and 7 electrons. So 2 electrons, helium, right? We'll go with option A. Question number 26. We have, which statements about general properties of metal are correct? They are good conductors of heat and electricity. Yes. They have low melting point. No, metals do not have low melting point. They are solids, right? They have high melting point, which leads to cancellation of option A and option C. They react with dilute acids to form salt and water. No, they are metals. They react to form salt and hydrogen, right? Dilute acids to form salt and hydrogen. So 3 is also incorrect. Only leftover option is option B. And statement 4, they react with oxygen to form basic oxide, is a correct answer. Question number 27. Reactions of 3 metals and their oxides are shown. Metal 1, 2, 3, add dilute hydrochloric acid to the metal, heat metal oxide with carbon. What is the order of reactivity of these metals from most reactive to least reactive? Now for this, what I will do is that I will keep carbon and hydrogen and try to make a reactivity series. Okay, so if it reacts, right, if it reacts with both dilute hydrochloric acid, right, and see, it is reacting with carbon, right? So if it reacts with carbon, it is less reactive than carbon. If it reacts with HCl, it is more reactive, right? So more reactive than hydrogen, less reactive than carbon. So I will place the metal 1 here between carbon and hydrogen. It reacts with hydrogen but does not react with carbon. So it is more reactive than hydrogen but does not react. So it is more reactive than carbon as well. So metal 2 is here. Then does not react with hydrogen, reacts with carbon. So if it does not react with hydrogen, it means it cannot replace hydrogen from the acid, which means it is less reactive than hydrogen. So it is placed here. Then what is the order of reactivity? From most reactive to least reactive. So your arrow must. So option C is your correct answer. Let's find question number 28. So we have three metal compounds J, K and L are heated using a Bunsen burner. The results are shown. J, colorless gas produced when which relights a glowing splint. So J must be oxygen, O2. Colorless gas produced which turns lime water milky. So it has to be CO2, and L has no reaction. Okay, so we'll have to find out which does not react. Let's look at options. J has to have some oxide liberated. Magnesium carbonate, heating magnesium carbonate will produce magnesium oxide and carbon dioxide. So not our answer. Again magnesium carbonate, not our answer. So let's cancel option A and B, right? Potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate, yes, when you heat potassium nitrite and oxygen are given out. So option C or D can be your answer. Then out of magnesium carbonate and potassium carbonate, which gives carbon dioxide? Magnesium carbonate does. Potassium carbonate does not decompose on heating. So this is not possible. And your only option left is answer C. But let's have a look. Potassium carbonate does not decompose when heated. So L, no reaction, is correct if you choose option C. Now let's find question number 29. We have the diagram shows the uses and treatment processes of muddy river water. So muddy river water can be directly used for something. Okay, let's find out. Drinking, no. Watering crops, yes. So right away option A and option B cannot be chosen, right? Because drinking cannot be done for muddy river water, right? You can't drink muddy river water. Let's see. Then muddy river water, process 1 becomes clean river water, clear river water. So what are they doing? They are doing filtration or sedimentation, right? So what is process 1? Process 1, chlorination or filtration. Yes, filtration. So option C also cannot be your answer, and therefore you're just left with D. But let's take all the options and try to arrange them here. So use 1 is watering crops. Yes. Now if you filter, you get clear river water. Correct. Disinfected water when you chlorinated. Yes, process 2 is chlorination. Correct. After chlorination, it is fit for drinking. So use 2 is drinking. These are the correct answers. Let's go for question number 30. Question 30 we have. The equation for manufacture of ammonia in the Haber process is known. The forward reaction is exothermic. 3H2 plus N2 gives 2NH3. Which row describes the effect of stated change on the reaction rate and the yield of the ammonia? So first option is decrease pressure. Effect on reaction rate. See, the change of pressure does not change the rate of reaction. It only changes the equilibrium. And here what will happen when you decrease the pressure? The equilibrium shifts towards left hand side because there are more moles on left hand side and less moles on right hand side. So effect on yield of ammonia decreases, yes, but it does not have any role in the rate of reaction. So this is not correct. Then we have change, decrease temperature. So if you decrease the temperature, the effect on reaction rate decreases. Yes, no matter if the reaction is exothermic or endothermic. When you decrease the temperature, the rate of reaction decreases. Effect on yield of ammonia, it increases. Yes, because what happens is exothermic reaction gets space, or in other words, it can give out energy more, right? It is exothermic. It needs to give energy to the surroundings. If surroundings are colder or they get cooler, it will be effectively able to give this heat, and therefore the yield of ammonia will increase. In other words, the forward reaction will be supported more, or backward reaction will reduce more compared to the forward reaction. In any case, option B is your correct answer. Then question 31. Fertilizers are used to provide three of the elements needed for plant growth. Which two compounds would give a fertilizer containing all three of these elements? What do you require? You require NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Let's find out calcium nitrate and ammonium sulfate. This, what does it lack? Let's find out. It has nitrogen, it does not have phosphorus, and it does not have potassium. So this is not your answer. Then you have calcium nitrate and ammonium phosphate. This does not have K, so this is also not possible. Potassium nitrate and ammonium sulfate. This does not have phosphorus, so not possible, and therefore potassium nitrate and ammonium phosphate, NPK, all of them present. Now let's look at question 32. Just a second. Okay, what do we have? The flow chart shows part of the process of manufacture of sulfuric acid and its electrolysis. Okay, so concentrated sulfuric acid, add water, get dilute sulfuric acid, electrolysis. Electrolysis of sulfuric acid produces oxygen and hydrogen, right? So you have possibility of O2 and H2, right? It's an acid. Okay, then gas 3 makes concentrated sulfuric acid. This has to be SO3. To do this, you require O2, right? And SO2. So gas 1 is SO2, gas 2 is oxygen, gas 3 is sulfur trioxide. What are gases 1, 2 and 3? So sulfur dioxide, oxygen, sulfur trioxide. Dioxide, oxygen, sulfur trioxide. Option B is your correct answer. Let's see question number 33. So we have, which statement about sulfur dioxide are correct? Sulfur dioxide decolorizes acidified potassium manganate. Yes, it does. So this is correct. Then sulfur dioxide forms when acid reacts with carbonates. No, carbon dioxide forms when acid reacts with carbonates, right? So sulfur dioxide is not. Sulfur dioxide is used as a bleach. Yes, it is. Sulfur dioxide is used to treat acidic soil. No, it is not. Right? Calcium oxide is used to treat acidic soil. So 2 and 4 not being your answer. 2 and 4. Okay, 4 is not your answer. So 1 and 3, right? In other words, 1 and 3 are your correct statement. So option A. Then we have question 34. What are the products when limestone is heated strongly? Calcium carbonate heated strongly gives you calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So calcium oxide and carbon dioxide, option C is your correct answer. Then we have question 35. This is the first question of organic chemistry. You might want to check out the revision videos of organic chemistry on the I button above. Then let's read the question. The structure of ester W is shown. Okay. Which row gives the name of ester W? Carboxylic acid and alcohol from which it is made. So even before we look at the options, let us name them. Right? What is this group? This group is the alcohol group. This is methanol. Right? One alcohol, methanol. What is this group? This is the acid group. Right? So this is ethanoic acid. Clear? So what will be the name of ester? The name of ester, first you see, in drawing, first we draw acid and then alcohol, and in writing we first write the alcohol and then write the name of acid. So methyl ethanoate. Okay, let's find out an option. Name of ester W, methyl ethanoate. So option A and B are not correct, not applicable for us. Carboxylic acid is ethanoic acid. So option C is your correct answer. Then we have question number 36. Ethanol is made industrially by fermentation of glucose or by catalytic addition of steam to ethene. Which statement describes an advantage of fermentation compared to catalytic addition? That fermentation is a renewable process, right? So you have ethanol is only product of fermentation? No, water remains, right? Yeast dies before all of that solution is changed to ethanol. Fermentation uses a batch process, but catalytic addition is continuous. This is actually a disadvantage of fermentation. Fermentation uses higher temperature than catalytic addition. No, catalytic addition does use higher temperature. So option D, fermentation uses a renewable resource, right? Which are sugarcane, corn syrup or corn, right? Or even wastes. Question 37. Some properties of colorless liquid L are listed. It boils at 65 degree Celsius. So it's liquid. Okay. I believe all of them are liquid. I believe hexene may not be a liquid, but okay. Let's remove it from here. When added to water, two layers form which do not mix. So it is not soluble in water. So ethanol is soluble in water. Ethanoic acid is also soluble in water. Both of them soluble because they have dipole, right? Hexane does not and forms a two-layer solution, or it just does not mix with water. It is immiscible. It does not react with sodium carbonate. Yes, it will not react with sodium carbonate. Okay, because it does not have anything to react. It is least reactive from the list. It has no effect on bromine water because it is a alkane, right? No addition reaction can take place here. So that's your answer. Let's go for option B is your correct answer. We have question 38. A molecule of compound P contains 2 carbon atoms and 4 hydrogen atoms. Which row represents P? So if it contains 2 carbon atoms and 4 hydrogen atoms, its general formula, or we can write the formula as CnH2n. These are alkenes, right? And if there are 2 carbons, so C2 and H4, right? So this is ethene, right? So ethane, no. All 3 are ethene. So that is our correct answer. Just a second, guys. Okay, so the next thing they are asking is MR and reacts with bromine or not. Because it is ethene, it is alkene and it must react with bromine. So option D also cannot be your answer. What will be the MR? 12 2s are 24, 24 plus 4 is 28. So the MR of this thing is 28 and option C is your correct answer. Now question number 39. The reaction of ethanol with acidified potassium magnate is shown. What type of reaction is taking place? Oxidation reaction is taking place because acidified potassium magnate is a oxidizing agent, and if the reaction takes place, it is oxidation. Also, alcohol is being changed to carboxylic acid, which is also oxidation reaction. Then we have question number 40. Which polymer is a synthetic polyamide? Synthetic and polyamide. So protein is not synthetic and pterylene is a polyester. Polyethylene is not polyamide and therefore only nylon is your option. So if you remember, this is a colored box which will have NH on its side. The other box will have carbon double bond O, and we would draw an empty box here, right? We're not interested in what these compounds are. We just know that this is amide linkage, and a polymer with this linkage is known as polyamide. Nylon is an example of one such answer. Which brings us to the end of the paper. I hope you've enjoyed the paper. I hope you come back for more videos. We are going to release a lot of videos for the whole summer of 2022 series. Thank you for watching. Recommend our channel to your friends. Don't forget to give a like. Bye bye.